forcing moves, and then answering. So for example, let's say he just does this. Later on, maybe white gets this. Now this isn't really a move anymore, which means that white gets a point at A. It's like a 1 point difference, right? You see that? It may look, I mean, it's a really subtle and small thing, but this is like a 1 point reduction type of thing. Let me see. I think there was another question. Yeah, that's the other really important thing that Megan already noticed. There's a possible I on top. Very good to notice that. When should black worry about protecting E18? Later, you'll see that. For now, he has to connect out, right? So, I mean, he's not gonna like try to make one eye up here and then get cut off from the center. At the moment, black's not the only weak one. White is weak here too. So black wants to play in the center of the board where the both of the weak groups are. Black doesn't want to play up here. That would be too passive. So white starts settling his shape very patiently here. And black plays a very patient move as well. He knows that this group is his only weakness. And he just plays this jump here. It's a very solid jump, I think. White continues helping his group. This stone is pretty much connected because this guy here is weak, right? He's got liberty problems, so it's very hard for for black to cut. This is also aiming at a very good reduction later, which would be M13, which would put a really big dent in that moyo. Q8 cut. Where's Q8? Yeah, Q8's still there, and that turns out to be a really important move later. Now black plays an interesting move. He plays here, and we could say that this is touching a weak stone, right? Like black has so many stones around here. Why not like pincer this guy or attack it stronger somehow? It turns out, I guess this is just okay. The commentary was that if black connects these two groups, if black connects F8 up to D6, the game is over. So it's the same as this move from earlier. He's just taking a very direct, simple approach and saying, if I connect, you can't beat me. So he's just trying to make it really simple. And white is very aware of this. He plays a crazy emergency move now because he knows that if these two groups link up, he's lost the game. So he plays a really bad shape, right? This is not normal. Yeah, he's playing in between the elephant eye, which is good, but he's also, making a pretty broken shape right here. Yeah, Q8 would be too early at the moment. We'll see when it gets played. Yeah, this is the ripped knight's move. So he did that just because it was an emergency. And white pushes up. They actually both have ripped knight's moves. Black plays here. May look a little strange at first, but this is actually the proper shape. And the way you can see this is you have to always be imagining this wedge. And the wedge creates two cuts, which can really be an issue. So what black has done is that he's already fixed one of the issues. So now if were the wedge to take place, everything's nice. So this is the proper move. It's the right shape. Oh no, man, I thought I was going to make this whole game without breaking the tree. But I forgot. White plays this peep. So he's still peeping at this wedge now. And also it helps his center group, right? So that's a pretty good move, but black gets to fix that up. Now white turns. It may look like, what if we just try to surround these guys? It seems like that would work. But actually that's not going to work because if white just extends, I think there's a Mii here, right? So black cannot capture those stones. So that's why he just responds naturally, keeps this stone separated. He continues to keep this stone separated. White gets a well-timed forcing move here. Obviously black can't let white Atari there, so white has to respond. Then white gets to connect up. Black connects up. White captures here, so he's all connected. Later in the game, A would be a good endgame Tesuji for white. And now everything is for the most part settled, and black just takes he takes this cut here. Very big move. Q17 is pretty big, and that's like the third, kind of like the third area, really. There's this cut, and then there's this clamp, and then there's this area. Those are some of the biggest areas left. Q8 is quite big, yeah. He's capturing 2 stones, and it also ends up lending some health to this A stone here. So let's take a look. The commentary was that Shuwa considered B and C to be like Mii. Normally when you think of Mii, you think, Mii for life, Mii for connection, something like that. But strong players also think of Mii for points, right? You take that big move, I'll take this big move, that sort of thing. So black takes this one, white takes this one, which reduces the moyo considerably, right? And the problem is, after this move, it's really hard for white to see how he's going to win this game. He's got minimal territory on top. He's got a reasonable territory on the left. Black's got quite a bit, in the C, D, E areas. And so white kind of goes into emergency mode again. And so let's just see what he does. He creates a ko here, which is pretty interesting reading. Black doesn't just want to connect, or doesn't just want to capture at A, because then white will cut at B. So black connects, and then this becomes a ko. The A group has been cut off in ko, right? So this is like Shuwa's chance to win this game. Black threatens to come out. It's also a Hane against the 2 stones. Black has to, or white has to answer. And now black gets a ko here, or a ko threat here. Black has to connect that, otherwise white will cut off the tail, and that's too big. Now when white takes the ko, this is threatening like double Atari. So what black does is he just connects here, and the problem for white is that if white were to connect at A, black can play B, and then he'll have Mii for life. So let's take a look at that. Right. So what white actually does in the game is he makes the ko even bigger. But let's see, what if he connects? Black will play here. That's one eye already. And then Megan's got it. Yeah, there's me eye for another eye with a play at B or a play on top. Black can get an eye up there. So white just tries to make the ko bigger. Unfortunately, white, since black has been playing so solidly, it's not that easy to find threats. This one's good though. This actually threatens to ladder the two stones. So black has to answer that. Now black just extends. If white captures at A, black can capture the two stones at B. And white's real goal is the C group. So white isn't interested in doing that. Here's an obvious co-threat. Again, black just connects. So now, essentially, black's group, it's cut in ko still. And so let's imagine white plays a move at B. Then it would become a real ko, right? Because black can't live locally. If white plays B, black's only way to live would be to play the ko. The problem is white isn't confident in having enough ko threats. So what he does is he pushes here and he's trying to create some ko threats. And the way it becomes kind of obvious that he's trying to do that is that he plays this cut here, which looks like kind of a strange move, but this is for creating as many ko threats as he can. Black plays one forcing move and then just takes the ko here. And he's so confident of his win that he doesn't actually care about this. He just gives white the really big profit in the corner to ensure that he can capture here. So white gained in the upper right, but the judgment was that it's still not quite enough. So white tries hard again to attack this A stone. He really needs to get something done here. Black plays quite a nice attachment here, and I think that this type of move has to be based on quite deep reading. This isn't the type of move you just, throw on the board, right? You have to really read it out. Otherwise, maybe you'd be playing something more reasonable, like B instead. So let's take a look at how this works. White plays here, which is not the natural shape, right? So why does he do that? This would be the natural shape, but black is prepared with this Hasami here, this clamp. And it would go like this. And white does all right locally, but black just gets too much in that case. So that's the problem. So Shuwa doesn't think that's good enough, and that's why he's trying to go for more, right? He's got the Aji stones in here. Q7 might be weak, like Dusty Veins is pointing out. So he's just trying to make this more complicated. And black plays all of the natural moves here. He connects up, waits for what's going to happen next. Black or white follows his move up. Now these two stones need help. So black jumps. That leaves the cut at A. So white has to connect. Black has to come out. All of these moves are very